Canada has the third best education system in the world, and its universities are among the highest ranking. The country needs professors and lecturers to educate the immigrants and the next generation. Watch this video till the end to find out how you can immigrate to Canada as a university professor. Hey everyone, I'm Behnam from the Visa Library. This channel gives visa information and the latest visa news and updates. First things first, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell and download the free cheat sheet that my team has prepared from the link in the description. You should also follow us on Instagram and Facebook to get the latest visa news and updates. Now, let's begin. Before getting to the subject, let me ask you this question. Which university professors are qualified to emigrate to Canada? The qualifications can change by your conditions, but a general list of requirements is like this: a PhD degree for university professors, master's degree for university lecturers, work experience, membership in the Canadian Institute of Planners, a license or professional certificate for teaching, language fluency, recognition and assessment of documents. Also, this list is among the requirements for applying through Canadian immigration programs. The first one is age. Applicants who are between 18 to 35 have a better score in the immigration programs, but it doesn't mean the older ones cannot apply. The second requirement is language proficiency certificate. Depending on the province, university and the conditions, you can provide one of the below language proficiency tests. IELTS and CELPIP are the approved English language tests. TEF and TCEF Canada are the approved tests for French. The third option is a job offer. A job offer is not mandatory to immigrate to Canada as a professor, but it can increase your score in the immigration program and raise your chance. If you have a profound resume, look for a teaching position and improve your chances. I'll explain how to find a job offer in Canada a bit later. The fourth item is the nomination certificate. If you apply through one of the PNP or provincial nominee programs, you will need a nomination certificate. The fifth item is a recognition of your documents. As a university professor or lecturer, you will need to have your qualifications and earn outside of Canada accredited or recognized in Canada. The recognition process confirms that your degree, diploma or certificate is valid and equal to Canadian standards. But where can you get your degree recognized? Some verified centers by the Canadian government approve the quality and quantity of your education. Here is a list of them. 1. World Education Services, WES. 2. International Credential Assessment Service of Canada, ICAS. 3. Comparative Education Service, CES. 4. International Qualifications Assessment Service, IQAS. 5. International Credential Evaluation Service. You can reach one of the items and ask about the requirements and supporting documents. You have to send them your identity documents and the translated educational documents in French or English. The center will tell you the full list of required documents and how you should send them. There is a fee with the processing that you have to pay as well. The processing time could take up to 2 months, so you'd better apply as early as possible to meet your deadline. Very well. Now that you know you have most of the requirements, how should you begin the application process? Don't go anywhere, as I'm about to tell you all of it. The first step is to find out whether you are eligible or not. As I told you, there are some requirements and eligibility principles. I mention it one more time to emphasize its importance. You must find out whether you meet the conditions or not, and if not, what can you do about it? Is there another way for you to immigrate to Canada as a university professor or lecturer? So, do your research about the process and requirements. The programs I will explain later will make it clear whether you qualify for them or not. So, watch carefully and take notes to determine your eligibility. The second step is to find an immigration program that suits your conditions. There are some immigration programs that let you enter Canada as a professor and lecturer. Do you want to know about them? Stay a bit longer. The first one is Express Entry. You can call Express Entry the most famous Canadian immigration program. It's online and applicants get picked by a score-based system. The factors that determine your score in the Express Entry system are these items: type of skill you have, education, employment background, language proficiency certificate, financial independence proof. These are just the items I explained a bit earlier. You need to increase your score by points to get invited to apply for PR or permanent residency. Express Entry is an immigration program and it has 3 subcategories that you have to apply through one of them. Express Entry is an immigration program that has 3 subcategories that you have to apply through one of them. They are different and the requirements vary. You have to find out which one is appropriate for your conditions. The first subcategory of the Express Entry is Federal Skilled Worker Program, FSWP. Canada has a list of in-demand job skills that get called NOC or NOC. If your skill is on this list, you can apply for Federal Skilled Worker Program. The NOC code for university professors and lecturers is 4021. Candidates receive points by their conditions, and there is a fixed point for each factor: language proficiency in English or French, education, enough work experience, age, job offer from a Canadian employer, adaptability. The higher your points, the higher your chance of getting picked to apply for PR. Language requirements for Federal Skilled Worker Program are English and French, and the approved tests are CELPIP and IELTS for English, and TEF and TCF for French. In terms of education, a PhD degree gives you 25 scores, and a master and bachelor degree give you 23 and 25 degree respectively. In terms of work experience, you will get 9 points for 1 year of work experience. The highest point is 15 for people who have 6 years of work experience and more. About age, the younger you are, the higher your points. People aged 18 to 35 will get 12 points, which is the highest. Candidates 46 years old get 1 point, and the ones 47 years old and older do not get any points for age. You also need to have enough funds to cover your expenses in Canada. The required fund for one applicant is $12,960, while a couple needs $16,135. When your application is complete, you will enter a pool of applicants. The ones with the highest point will get picked to apply for PR. In the meantime, you can work on your application to improve it. Getting work experience or a language proficiency test are examples. The second subcategory is Canada Experience Class, CEC. People who have work experience in Canada can apply for CEC and receive PR. It's required that they have 1 full-time or 3 years of part-time work experience. This program is not appropriate for people who are outside of Canada and have never worked in the country, as the main point is the Canadian work experience. The third subcategory of the Express Entry is Federal Skilled Trades Program, FSTP. The difference between Federal Skilled Trades Program and Federal Skilled Worker Program is that you do not need a higher education in the Federal Skilled Trades Program, but you need higher education in the Federal Skilled Worker Program. The jobs on the NOC list differ in the 2 immigration programs. Federal Skilled Trades Program is to bring skilled workers in the industrial and service sector to Canada. This was all about Express Entry, but how to know you are eligible to have the required score. IRCC has a free tool that tells your score in Express Entry by asking questions about your conditions. You can find the link in the description. If you're eligible and have the least score, you can apply. If not, find out how to increase your score by the terms I explained. Now let's get to the next immigration program you can use to enter Canada as a university professor or lecturer, Provincial Nominee Program or PNP. PNP permits Canadian territories and provinces to bring skilled workers they need to their provinces. Although PNP allows applicants worldwide to immigrate to Canada, not everyone is eligible to apply. Applicants must have the required job skill by province, work experience, and educational background. All Canadian provinces have a PNP except Quebec and Nunavut. These 2 provinces have their own immigration programs to bring skilled workers to the country. You can visit each province's official website and learn more about job opportunities and programs. Also, if you're looking for a job, try to find one in one of the provinces to get nominated in one of the provincial programs. Eligibility and requirements for each PNP are different. You have to visit the website for each of the PNP to find about them. But let me tell you at this point. PNP works in 2 ways. 1. Applying through the Express Entry process. 2. Applying in the non-Express Entry process. The process is about different. So if you qualify for Express Entry, you can also be qualified for PNP as well. 2 birds, 1 stone. As I told you, Quebec province doesn't have a PNP, but it has its own immigration route. The next program that lets you enter Quebec is Quebec Skilled Worker Program, ASWP. Quebec Skilled Worker Program is similar to a PNP, except it is only for Quebec province. Quebec Skilled Worker Program allows the Quebec province to bring skilled workers from outside of the country. It permits applicants to apply for PR directly. but they need to have the required skill and work experience to be eligible. Applicants of Quebec Skilled Worker Program need to be fluent in French, particularly in communication skills. It works on a score-based system, and applicants get evaluated by their education, work experience, age, language proficiency, having a family member in Quebec, applying with or without a spouse, having a job offer, and financial independence. Applicants get a score for each one of the items I explained. The final score varies by your conditions. The least required score is 59, but you need a higher point as the competition is tough and there are thousands of applicants. There is another immigration program for Quebec that's worth mentioning. It's called Quebec Experience Class QEC. People who have studied or worked in Quebec can apply for QEC and receive PR directly. So it is with the university professors. They need to be fluent in French and meet the program's requirements. QEC is not a score-based system and is different from the Quebec Skilled Worker Program. Applicants need to meet the qualifications to apply for it. Be 18 years old, settle in Quebec, have a clean record in Quebec under CUAQ, have French fluency test, and have a degree certificate achieved in Quebec. These are the accepted language tests to show French language skills: TEF AQ, TCF Quebec, TEF, TEF Canada, TCF, DLAF, and DALF. There is one more program. It's the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, AIPP. It allows intermediate to highly and semi-skilled foreign workers to move to Canada Atlantic provinces. University professors and lecturers are highly needed in the 4 Atlantic provinces. The eligibility principles for AIPP are like this: having language fluency, proof of having enough funds for 1 year of your stay, a job offer from an employer in Atlantic provinces. You can find more information about the AIPP from the Visa Library article. The link is in the description. Alright then, these were the immigration programs you could use to enter Canada. Now, what is the next step? As I told you, having a job offer increases your score to enter Canada. Also, it's a must in some immigration programs, so you'd better try to find a job offer. There are various ways to find a job in Canada from abroad. The first one is to look through the websites that advertise job position. Websites like Monster, ZipRecruiter, Job Bank, Career Builder, and other ones. You can find more websites in the Visa Library article. The other way is to get help from recruitment agencies in Canada. Agencies like Kavin Group, Dev Talent, TM8 Recruitment, Keynote Research, Stevenson and White, Local Staffing, Strategy Group, and other ones. As I explained earlier, you can search through the PNP programs and see if they have a job position for a university professor or not. You can apply for them and get nomination as well. You can also visit the Canadian university or college website to see if they have a vacancy or not. They often have such information on their website. After you get the job offer, you must begin the application process. Here you have to gather the supporting documents. They prove you qualify for the program you're applying for. What supporting documents do you have to prepare? They differ by the application program and your conditions. For instance, if you're married and your spouse is with you, you must gather his or her documents. You can find the list of supporting documents from the Visa Library by going through each immigration program. After collecting the documents, you need to create a profile on the IRCC website and submit the requirements. The link is in the description. Applicants have to submit the scanned form of documents and complete the forms. Complete each step with care and double check everything. So you have to complete everything with care and not make any mistakes. In case you insert false information, your application won't get processed. Now is the turn for biometrics. If you have not visited Canada in the last 10 years, you must submit your biometrics, digital photo and fingerprints. You have to visit the VFS Global Center or the Canadian Embassy in your home country to complete the procedure. The center you must visit is up to your nationality and the immigration program. You might have to pass an interview. If yes, you will have to answer some questions regarding your visit's purpose and background. The processing time is different for each immigration method. For instance, the express entry processing took about 2 years during the COVID-19 pandemic, but the officials have shortened it to 6 months like before the pandemic. While waiting for the results, you can work to improve your application. For instance, you can get work experience or get English or French language proficiency. When you get the invitation to apply, you can make arrangements to move to Canada. Now, it's time to answer some of your questions. How much will will you earn as a university professor and lecturer? It's hard to say as your salary is up to several factors, but the average income is about $90,000 per year. You can find more information about the income differences in Canadian provinces in the Visa Library article. Alright then, this was all you must know to immigrate to Canada as a university professor and lecturer. If you have questions, write them down in the comment section. My team as a Visa Library will answer them. Before you leave, like this video, hit the bell and download the free PDF file that my team has prepared from the link in the description. You should also follow Visa Library on Instagram and Facebook to get the latest visa news and updates. Until the next video, thank you all for watching.